Hi everyone, this is Scott Elliott and welcome to the weekly swing trade report video for October 23rd, 2016. We'll go over a list of names here, both that made moves last week off of our watch list, as well as what the names off of our watch list for tonight and tomorrow. So let's see, the first name up is CRK. This one had a nice breakout through the 850 spot here. This was on our watch list from last week. And we were mentioning that the target here, using the depth of this pattern from 7 to 850, so you'd add that onto the breakout. So that'd give you a price target of $10, and it's up there above that right now. So this was a very nice breakout from last week. Next up is BLOZF. This one had a nice flag breakout through 34 spot here and ramped all the way up here, and then now it's pulling back. I actually bought this one, sold it up here at 52 and re-entered down here at 38 on the breakout pullback setup. So, you know, this area right here in 36 is acting as support that was previously resistance. So this is a good example of a breakout pullback setup here on BLOZF. It's in a strong sector, the marijuana sector, and I think that this thing's eventually going to turn and head north again. So BLOZF, very nice stock. AGTK is another marijuana play here. It had a ramp up, and now it's breaking through its previous highs back here at around 0.27, and I think this one's going higher. This is a very nice setup here. AGTK in the marijuana sector. ZUMZ, it was an earnings breakout, ramped up, broke out on big volume, and then it's putting in some resistance here at around 2250, and so we're looking for a breakout through this resistance level for an entry. Another great looking stock. IPCI, this one had a nice breakout back here through this ascending triangle through 240. You can see, you know, the very nice pattern. Broke out, and so it had this gap here, and my thought was that this one was going to pull back to 260 and hold this gap here, and exactly what it did. And so now it's ramping up back towards the recent highs around 320. And I do think this one may get some resistance here, maybe pull back a little bit, but I think ultimately this one's going to resolve higher. I think the longer term trend is up here for this one. AKAO was a very nice breakout. On Friday, it had this 520 spot was acting as resistance, and then Friday it actually broke through that, and it looks like it's heading higher. Through 550 is actually the clean breakout spot. So, but this is a very nice uptrend, very nice ascending triangle type pattern. InDev is another marijuana play. So once again, you're seeing this ramp up, you know, pull back, and then start ramping up again and break through the recent highs. So this is InDev, another great looking marijuana play to keep on your radar. Really like the way it looks. AIMT has been on our watch list for a few days. It's a top watch. It's got a spot here at 1720, and it's tapped it several times. So the more times it taps it, the more likely I think it is to break. And so this one is another top watch for next week for a breakout if you're interested in trading it. HCLP is an oil play. It's got earnings on Monday or Tuesday, I think. So, you know, be cognizant of that. And I wouldn't hold through earnings. Buying a stock ahead of earnings is a gamble. It's basically a 50-50 coin flip. And so, you know, wait till the earnings come out. Or, you know, unless you're in the stock from a lower price and you have a nice cushion on it, you know, maybe that would be okay to hold partial positions through earnings. But in general, it's usually a bad idea to hold anything through earnings because you just never know how the market's going to react. But that one has a nice setup through 18. So next one is ATRS. So ATRS had a very nice pattern. Actually, back here, this was a very nice ascending triangle pattern. You can see here, let's draw this right quick. So through the 145 area, and then now it's putting in a resistance here at 180. So it's kind of consolidating sideways with some resistance at 180 within like a tight range here. So I like this chart. I think it's going through 180 soon. So it's one to keep on your radar. Massroot is a marijuana play. Once again, there's lots of these names in the sector that are really making some nice moves, nice patterns. So, and I think they remain strong into the elections in November, and who knows, you know, beyond that. But so anyway, breakout through 62 from a head and shoulders type pattern, a big volume, pull back, held the support, and now it looks like it's ramping up, ready to break out through recent highs again. So this is a nice looking marijuana play. Facebook was on our list. It broke out through 131, so it was in this tight range. So you can take the depth of this pattern, add it on to 31, and that would be your first target on this one here. But Facebook looks great. Let's see, SGMS, basically a nice flag pattern here. It's ramped up, kind of consolidating sideways. You know, this is probably not the top one on the watch list because it's not a really volatile mover, not a big mover, but it does have a nice pattern here. So 1320 would be your buy trigger. Felt continues to look great. I like this chart. 475, I think it's going to go. It's testing it several times. Tried it here, it pulled back, put in a higher low, and it's kind of following this nice ascending triangle here, trend line. So I think Felt is going to break out here soon. Still like that one. AMID is an oil play here. Very nice sideways consolidation, and it looks like it's finally ready to break out through resistance here around 15. You know, it's tapped at 1, 2, 3. You know, this will be the 4th time, so I think it's ready. And it had big volume on Friday too, so that's a good one. ABEO, this one was from last week. We had this on our watch list for this nice pattern here, and just wanted to kind of give an update on this chart. You know, you can see how that one cleared the breakout there on big volume, and then it's just continuing to run. So this one could run for several more days, but the further away it gets from breakout, the less appealing it looks from a technical perspective. But very nice pattern that broke out. Match is another one here. This was a nice flag pattern with a breakout through 18. You know, so this was on our watch list as well. And so this one broke out and basically reached our profit target, but this one still remains strong. Match. So KTOV, this was one that was a breakout pullback setup that looked fantastic here. It had this resistance or support here based on the previous resistance at around, let's see, a little bit lower than that. Let's move it down here. So 350 was my thoughts, and then it bounced right off of that, and it's up 5 green days in a row. I think it's actually going back to 440, and I think the longer term trend for this stock is up. So I was thinking starting to put in some higher highs and higher lows on the daily, so it still looks good. Sprint was one that was a failed breakout. It's a good example. They don't all work, but when they don't work, it's best to just get out, cut your losses, and wait, and get in at a better price later. And this one, failed to break 7. Now it's all the way back to 655. So it's a good example that they don't all work, and just to get out and cut your losses when you're wrong. And then the last one I want to go over is an AEM, which is a short setup in the gold sector, which I'm bearish on gold right now. So this one broke down through this solid support here on big volume, and then it ramped back up all the way back near 50. And my thought was this is going to act as resistance, and it should roll over and act at, and gold names should drop now, because this is basically the opposite of a breakout pullback. This is a breakdown, pull back to or ramp up to resistance and then fails. So basically the opposite of a breakout pullback. So a breakdown, ramp up kind of thing. But so I'm bearish on gold, and this is just an example. And you can see this in many of the gold names: PAAS, AEM, and then there's several other ones. So overall, what I see is in the market, a lot of gold plays are bearish. Marijuana stocks remain hot. There's plenty of setups out there. And then oil, a lot of the oil plays are starting to have some very nice patterns on them too. And some of the steel names too. So, but that's all we got for now, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon, and we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Thanks.